Hey, it's 9:48 now. November means it's time to start talking turkey. So who better to join us for the Monday menu than our good friend Mike Luken from Luken's Poultry, Fish, and Seafood at Findlay Market. And he brought the whole shabab here this morning. Turkey is the protein that is most associated with Thanksgiving. I can eat turkey all year round, but it is the meal that people expect on Thanksgiving. If you're going to do a turkey, what's the first thing you think about?
Well, first thing you think about is size. Now, my favorite turkey this is an 18-pound hen turkey. They'll get up to 22, 24 pounds.
Right.
I think those are the best turkeys. I kind of would steer people away from the toms and go with the younger hen turkeys. They're much bigger and they're more like a basketball, where the toms are more like a football. They're long and thin.
Okay.
The weight goes into the legs and the other stuff, where the young hens, they all go towards the breasts and stuff like that. The other thing with a turkey, and then it was cooking it, you should never stuff a turkey with dressing, because then you got to get the internal temperature of the dressing because of the bacteria up there. So I always stuff it with onions, celery, and carrots. And then if you look at how restaurants and different people make stock, what do you add to your stock? Carrots, celery, when you boil the bones. So that goes down into the drippings to
flavor that dressing.
The flavor for the gravy.
Right.
And I always like to take the turkey. I'll cook it the day before. People, and then they're easier to cut, they're easier to pull off. You don't have to boom. And you got to have a turkey rest for at least an hour after you cook it. So if you cook it the day before,
because it will continue to cook once you take it out of the oven.
You took them to 155, they'll raise up to 165, and that's what you need for the internal temperature. A turkey like this would take about 3.5 hours to cook.
Yeah, now some people try to eyeball it or use that little temperature thing that will come with some of these processes.
The pop-up timer, but they can stick. They're not, I mean, yes, they work, but the real rule of thumb is use a meat thermometer.
Right,
and you can't go wrong.
Where do you put it to make sure?
Right through the center of the breast, right into the thickest part.
Because that's the place. If that's
up to temperature, then the rest of the bird's up to temperature. You go toward the wing and then whatever. But I like to cook it in advance, and then you just pull it off the bone. Like I showed you, like people like to slice their turkey down like that. I'd rather do it this way.
And why's that?
Because you can get nicer pieces, and it's off the bone.
Oh, there you go. See, he makes that look easy. If I'm at home, I've already lost a thumb.
But like I said, if you do it this way, you can go all the way right through. You cut it. I like to take, like I said, I like to take it off the bone.
Make a better presentation that way.
It makes a better presentation. And then you got to let it sit and rest before you carve it. Otherwise, it'll do. So I always cook mine the day before. Gives you more time to do your things. It makes the fat and the drippings on the bottom of the pan come apart easier. Then you just go through it. Then you just reheat it, and most of the flavor comes from the gravy anyway.
Right. Now, you brought in some examples of gravy. And I
made some gravy and some dressing.
Okay. And now you use the drippings to...
I made the dressing with it's basically the drippings and some cornstarch, and thicken it up, and that's simple.
That's simple.
There's nothing really hard about cooking a turkey, and everybody has their own ways of doing it, and well, I do this and I do that. I mean, you can go out and be all fancy, you can brine them. That's just salt and pepper.
Now, do you have a rule of thumb for how big a turkey to get for what size family? And
well, they always say 1.5 pounds per person, and that gives you plenty of leftovers and stuff. But the thing I like to tell people is I don't like to sell turkeys much under, we do, and we sell them, but I don't like to sell a turkey much under 12, 13 pounds because they're not old enough. They're not mature enough. They don't have the fat and stuff under the skin. They don't have the maturity.
Right, and the fat under the skin actually helps with the flavoring and the tenderness, right?
That's exactly. The flavor and the fat and the other stuff. And then, like I said, once they start getting to be about 12, 14, this is my favorite size right there is 18.
Yeah, I like the bigger turkeys.
But they don't have the maturity, so they don't have the flavor. They don't have the fat under the skin. I mean, they still are good. They still will be great, but it's just, if you want to look at something a little bit better, I would go something a little bit bigger.
I noticed a picture here, you with all these live turkeys right here on this one, and that sort of thing. So you're a live turkey guy or a fresh turkey versus a frozen turkey guy?
Well, we have a Cops turkeys. Kevin's daughter raises 350 heritage breed turkeys every year. They sell them to me exclusively. They don't even sell them with their own plant. He wants a local person to do it. And you know what? And they're all field raised. They're out in the field constantly. You know what impressed me the most when I went down there to take the pictures of it there?
This is funny. Go ahead.
They have 2 mules out in the field. 2 big mules. And a mule protects the turkeys. A mule will not let anything into the field. It'll run any raccoon or a coyote or any wild animals out. They're very protective. So if you see people, you know, trying to drag these little things around in their fields and this and that, they have 2 mules out in the field and they don't lose a turkey a year.
That's what I want. Is a mule protected turkey. That's what I want.
Protected by 2 mules. And
there we go.
But it's mules, gelded donkeys, and llamas will protect the fields, and that's what keeps all the turkeys.
Yeah,
I was waiting. I knew Bob was going to show up for lunch. Come on in. Come on in. There's plates and forks and
plates.
Let's go.
Can I dip it in the gravy?
Yeah.
See.
Thank you.
The proof's always in the
Can't say no to you.
There we go. He's good. Mike, well, thank you so much for doing that. And we'll have
John, good seeing you.
Good seeing you too.
Boy, just standing here with old friends.
Thank you, Mike.
We should be in our kitchen. We need a glass of wine.
And just like being with old friends, we're going to eat up all your food. You're going to have to kick us out of your house when we're through.
You know what? No, we just open another bottle of wine and sit back a little bit.
There we go.
Eat dessert.
All right, Mike Luken. It is 9:54. We'll be right back.